we hear this often. You are the sum of your five closest people, which worries me a little bit because I live with two very energetic children, and two not as energetic grandparents as well. So I'm like, oh, I don't know if that's about right. But I know what you're saying here. It's, how do you ensure that you're surrounding yourself with the right people? Because, often your mates as well, they talk about the barbecue army, where you might be doing something and they're like, why are you doing that? Property is terrible. The market, we're going into a recession, all of that. How do you make sure you're surrounding yourself with the right people that are actually lifting you up?
Yes, yes. And so it's amazing. Like Grant Cardone takes it to the next level, right? And he says every journey in the life you need to ensure that you're changing those five people. He takes it to the next level. He's like, you don't need to be around the same five people. And of course, the five people that he's referring to are the people that you're networking with. And so if you're networking with high net worth people, you'll get there. They'll pull you up there. There's a natural tension for them to ensure that they hang around with the same people, right? And so if you are the least of the smartest in the group or in the pack, your natural intelligence becomes higher. You look at Andrew Tate, you look at Elon Musk, you look at their profiles in their lives. Basically, that's how they've excelled in their own lives. And so mates play a really, really big role in defining who you are and what you're going to do. And so as a team, or as a kid, even, when my father used to say, you need to pick your friends carefully. You need to pick your friends carefully because they are the one who are going to define your life, or they are going to be the one who are going to define your results, and you don't really understand that at that point, right? And some of my
Yeah.
friends are nerds, and we still laugh about it, that they are nerds because I was a nerd, or I was a nerd and then they became the nerds. And so naturally, as you apply some of that thinking back into your business life, you realize that yes, they have a massive influence. The way they act, the way they think, the way they operate, the way they make decision is how
Mm.
you would be making decisions. I've seen clients coming to me who have made terrible decisions because of these barbecue conversations. And on the flip side, I have seen clients who have taken a punt and made a decision and made $500,000 in a year just because of these conversations and people that they're surrounding with. It's amazing how much influence
Yeah.
that these people have in the background on you.
I think there needs to be a rule that property conversations shouldn't be had in barbecues. And then there's like
Yeah,
barbecues, there's beer, there's all sorts of things. But it's just not the place to have property conversations. But it is around. We talk around, but it doesn't mean that you don't have friends that are from your childhood. It just means that they're in terms of your circle of influence. Who are the people that you are allowing to influence you,
definitely.
and the decisions that you make that are going to be impactful in your life personally, and I say professionally or financially, they're going to be
Mm,
different. They may be different people, right? Because your childhood friend may be doing something absolutely different to you, but you connect with them from a soul level, right? But
definitely.
you might not necessarily, but that doesn't mean that you have to necessarily, from a financial point of view or a mindset point of view, doesn't mean that you need to necessarily be on the same page. But the people that influence your decision making, that's a different thing. How you're networking and you're really hanging out with those people that they need to be in the same values,
Yes,
but it's also making sure that if you're wanting to take yourself to another level, whatever that level might be, right?
yeah,
There's no judgment around it. You've got to be around those people that are living that sort of that life, whatever that life may be,
100%.
and we're all
100%.
at different levels, and
100%.
just make
And
sure that you are learning and absorbing and growing as a result of that.
100%. And so, to your earlier comment, when you say, your net worth is defined by your network defines your net worth, I'll take it to a next step. I'll say, measure your network's worth by measuring their experience. And the experience does not correlate with age or wealth. Age is not a good proxy, and wealth can be, transferred through inheritance. So, the experience that they have is a perfect proxy of measuring their worth, and that is what you're going to get out of being part of these networks. There's a lot of property networks. You have an amazing community that you run. There's
Mm,
heaps of events that you guys do. There's heaps of other property communities out there. We run a Facebook group as well. It's not about collecting contacts. I think people get these
mm,
networking and these
mm.
mates so wrong. They think that
Yeah,
it's about, sharing business cards and, sharing phone numbers. It's about planting relationships. You know how successful can you be by just planting a single seed of relationship in someone's mind? It's about a
yeah,
self branding exercise when you're going out to these networking events, etc. I was talking to one of the BAs in my own business yesterday, and I said to her that I closed the client 2 years after we have been talking. 2 years. And she was like, "What? You spent 2 years
yeah.
on a client?" And I said, "No, we just connected and they followed. One day they picked up the phone and they said, 'Hey, Moss, I'm looking for a
I'm ready.
property. Can you help?'" Like, and that's the power of planting a seed of relationship when you are
Yeah.
basically talking to people, when you are building the relationship, when you're building your network. That's what it comes down
Mm.
to.
Yeah, and going there again with this level of genuine intention to help and support people, I think, and without an ulterior motive, but from the mere fact that you just never know where a relationship might end up. I had a call last week from someone I haven't spoken to for 2 years, but he was thinking of something. He said, actually, I need to give Cheryl a call, and that was 2 years ago that we last connected. But knowing that you just never know where relationships will take you, and the more, like you said, you're expanding your network, stepping out of your comfort zone, because I know a lot of introverts will be sitting here going, I really don't want to do this networking stuff. I have to, like, have
Yes,
nibblies with people that I don't know, make small talk and everything. It's not necessarily that. I think the fact that if it's property that or find something that you have a commonality. That's how you build the rapport. Having the property groups or whichever are a good place to break down that barrier, because you can ask the question. So, it's your property journey. Like, share your property journey, and that's a good starter. Then it
definitely.
starts to break down those barriers as well. But the more that like you said, we're surrounding ourselves with the people that are of similar values, achieving, either achieving the things that you're wanting to achieve, that's going to help elevate you.
Definitely.